all you Golden Eagles. You're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. I'm your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker. We've got a great show coming up with some information about L.A. Wilson discussing daily and weekly news, and Gabby Cox-Wilbur sharing some things about security. And don't touch that dial because we have Molly Moss from LSI will share some things that you don't want to miss. You're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio.
Regresando a la escuela, sí tenía miedo, porque yo tenía pensamientos que no sabía si iba a poder hacerlo.
A los 47 años, Marco obtuvo su high school diploma.
Nunca es muy tarde para obtenerlo.
Nadie obtiene un diploma solo. Si estás pensando en obtener tu high school diploma, puedes recibir ayuda. Encuentra clases gratis para adultos cerca de ti en completatudiploma.org. Repito, completatudiploma.org. Presentado por la Dollar General Literacy Foundation y el Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakovic, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now for some USM campus news. Computing Research Hub launched at Southern Miss with support from Payne Foundation. The Computing Research Hub has just received a $32,000 grant from the Jimmy A. Payne Foundation to support academic excellence with a collaborative community focused on research, student development activities, and industry partnerships. One of the research hubs for artificial intelligence and cybersecurity research is attempting to foster an ecosystem which will help advance students and faculty research through its programming. Dr. Nick Rahimi, the director of the Computing Research Hub and assistant professor of the School of the CSCE, goes on to say, "Our mission is to empower students to explore ideas, innovate and lead in the ever-evolving technology landscape. Through active mentorship and a collaborative hands-on research environment, we'll equip our students with the skills and experience needed to be ready for life." In Hattiesburg news, 3 candidates running for Petal mayor. The current mayor, Tony Ducker, is going to be facing 2 challengers, that being Emily Dawn Escolas and William E.J. Miller. The primary election will be held on April 1st, which will have the general election follow that on June 3rd. 6 other individuals will be running unopposed and will keep their seats for another 4 years. In Mississippi news, traffic stop for an expired tag leads to fentanyl bust in Gulfport. On January 30th, a traffic stop in Gulfport led to a drug bust and arrest of 3 people. The police had found the car with an expired tag and found over 4 grams of fentanyl in the vehicle. They also found over 2 grams of fentanyl on the driver. A search warrant was executed at the home where they found over 2 pounds of fentanyl and nearly 16,000 fentanyl pills. The residents in the home were arrested alongside the driver. In national news, Trump agrees to pause tariffs on Mexico, Canada, after they pledged to boost border enforcement. Yesterday, President Donald Trump agreed to a 30-day pause on his tariff threats against Mexico and Canada as they took steps to appease his concerns about border security and drug trafficking. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau goes on to say, "Proposed tariffs will be paused for at least 30 days while we work together." Trudeau stated that his government will name fentanyl SAR, list Mexican cartels as terrorist groups, and launch a Canada-U.S. joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. The tariffs may very well still come into effect, which leaves the global economy uncertain about what is to come. We'll be right back with sports and weather after a word from our sponsors.
What is dedication?
My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much. From the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night, and every moment in between. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now on for your sports. Track and field soars to 10 first-place finishes at South Alabama Invitational. The Southern Miss men's and women's indoor track and field teams received 10 first-place finishes at the South Alabama Invitational on Sunday. The women's team recorded 7 first-place finishes among 15 top 3 performances, while the men have 3 first-place finishes with 10 top 8 finishes. Let's go, Eagles! To keep up with all the Golden Eagle sports activities, head on over to southernmiss.com. Now on for your weather. We had some fog earlier this morning, which ended at around 10 a.m. We've got some cloudy skies with the highs reaching the mid-70s and the lows in the low 60s. The humidity is at 75%, with the wind being around 5 miles per hour. Up next, we have L.A. Wilson discussing daily and weekly news. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. As publisher of the Richton Dispatch, L.A. Wilson pondered the difference between daily and weekly newspapers. While both are important, he feels the weekly format is better suited to rural communities.
A newspaper keeps your community closer together. Also, it enables a community or an area to have a voice. A daily newspaper carries the day-to-day stories that cover everything concerning individuals, and this is not our duty because we're weekly. A weekly such as this, you do not supplant a daily newspaper. You know, there's nothing deader than dead news. If it's not worth the coverage, really. It would be better for me to write more about what is coming up and in anticipation than I would of something that has already happened. Now, of course, you record history, in a sense recorded for the future. So it's necessary. I mean, I do think it definitely performs a service that is needed in an area.
Bill Ellison hosts Voices of Our People World War II, a new podcast from Mississippi Moments, sponsored by the Mississippi Humanities Council. That's Voices of Our People World War II, wherever you get your podcasts.
That was L.A. Wilson. Coming up, we've got a special guest that you don't want to miss.
Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest. Sponsorship comes from Signature Magazine, the Pine Belt's original Seen and Be Seen magazine. Since 2006, Signature has been the Hub City source for arts, music, fashion, food, and more. Signature Magazine is published monthly and available at more than 200 locations throughout the Pine Belt. Signature is also available with the free Hub City Spokes app for Apple and Android phones. Signature Magazine, the Pine Belt Seen and Be Seen magazine.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now, please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Molly Moss from LSI. Hey, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
So before we begin with any of the information that we've got about the Student Organization Involvement Fair, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah. Hi, I'm Molly Moss. I am an assistant director in the Leadership and Student Involvement Office here on campus. I get the pleasure of working with Golden Eagle Welcome Week a good bit. I'm also an instructor for UNV 100, our class for our incoming freshmen. And most recently, I'm getting some really cool opportunities to work with our student organizations, as well as do some cool leadership development workshops in the office.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I love it.
So with this Student Organization Involvement Fair, for students that don't exactly know what it is, what exactly is the Student Organization Involvement Fair?
Yeah, so we do an involvement fair here on campus every semester. And it is a great opportunity for students to come out and learn about the different organizations that are offered here on campus. So if you're interested in joining an organization, if you just want to see what's out there, if you want to see some of the cool stuff that our groups are doing here on campus, the Involvement Fair is a great way for you to come out and meet people and get connected with those groups.
Okay. And what exactly can we expect from this fair?
Yeah, so this semester our fair has over 50 groups that are coming to table and participate. So you'll get to come out and see everything that those different groups have to offer. They might talk to you if they have maybe open memberships. So if you wanted to join any of those groups, you could look into that. You could learn what they're doing here on campus, even if it's something in the future. So if it's one of our organizations, you have to apply to be a member. You can learn more about that process for maybe what you want to do starting in the fall next year.
Okay. And do you have any of the groups that, like, you know at the top of your head about what's going to be at this fair?
Yeah, so we have a ton. They range all over the place from some of our more maybe athletic-based clubs, some of our art-based clubs. We also have some of our really big staple organizations coming. So SGA will have a table, RHA. Let's see, what else? I'm spacing off the top of my head. A lot of our fraternities and sororities will be there as well. So it really spans like a wide variety of options.
And just in case for our students that don't exactly know, what is SGA?
Yeah, so that's the Student Government Association here on campus. So if you're interested in getting involved with them in any way, they have lots of really cool opportunities.
Right. And I heard, like, when I was a freshman, I'm now going for my graduate degree. But when I was a freshman for USM, I heard that there was like an esports club or an esports team. Is that going to be here?
I am not positive if they're tabling, but the organization fair will be in the same space as the esports arena. So in the Thad Cochran Center and the Union Lobby. So they're right in between those two spaces. So I'm sure that they'll be available. And we love having them participate.
And is this event free for our students, or does this cost money, or?
Yes, this event is totally free. All of our clubs just come, and some of them might give out swag, some of them might have some treats. We have some really cool giveaways from LSI as well. So we got some exclusive swag for our first 100 people that we see at the organization fair. So not only is it free, you actually get stuff.
What exactly, can you tell us anything about like what type of swag?
Oh, it's fun. So we, for this organization fair, got some wonderful eagle head embroidered fuzzy socks.
Ooh, that's fun.
I know, I'm excited.
Are they soft at all, or do you know?
Oh, yes,
I
they
love
are.
that.
I love them a lot.
I love that.
I might take a pair for myself. We'll see.
So is this event for all students, or are they just for undergraduate students?
Yeah, so all students are welcome to come and learn about our different organizations. It kind of depends on the organization what their population is that they're leaning towards, but lots of our organizations have open memberships for undergraduate and graduate students.
Okay. So this isn't just an event that if you're an undergraduate, it's amazing for you to join, especially for like these clubs and these opportunities. But also if you're a graduate student, you still have those opportunities available for them. You just have to check with that to make sure that they have open registration.
Yeah, of course. We really want every student here on campus to find their community and find their place here on campus.
Right.
So everyone is welcome.
Okay. And do you know, just for any students out there that have graduate degrees, do you know any type of example of like what type of club is accepting graduates? It's okay if you don't.
I don't know quite off the top of my head, but I know a lot of our like hobby and interest clubs.
Yeah, can you tell us about that?
A lot of open memberships. So clubs that are interested in things like maybe agriculture or gardening, or we have a lot of our music groups or movie groups that are interested in just getting together and learning more about culture and different forms of art. So I know a lot of those organizations have very open memberships.
Right. Okay. And we brushed past it just like a little bit by talking about LSI with like you're able to get like this swag and the nice fuzzy socks, which is going to be really exciting for any student that wants it. But for any students out there that are listening that don't know exactly what LSI is, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, for sure. So Leadership and Student Involvement is a great office if you are interested in learning how to get connected to the student experience here at Southern Miss. So we like to say it starts with Golden Eagle Welcome Week. So for our incoming freshmen, that is our first program that we really try to connect you in with what it means to be a Southern Miss student. And then that continues on through all of our campus programming and our student orgs. So LSI houses SMAC, our student programming board, as well as being the whole resource hub for all of our student clubs and organizations here on campus. We do some really cool leadership development pieces, and then our office is connected to community and belonging, as well as fraternity and sorority life. So all three offices work together as a team as part of the student life team here on campus to really hone in on the student experience for our students.
Okay. That's really cool.
Yeah.
We had a Smack actually here last week as a guest, and they teased some things about like an escape room that's coming up, which is really exciting. Does LSI have any power over Smack?
So my colleague, April Broom, is the SMAC advisor. So
Okay.
she is also an assistant director in our office, and she advises SMAC. So SMAC is housed out of LSI.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So does any of the, just entertain me with this, but with LSI, with this like escape room that's coming out, do any of the LSI members go to this escape room just to like experience it on their own, or are they not allowed to go?
I think that we can all participate. I have not done the escape room myself, but I'm very excited to see it here on campus.
Yeah.
It sounds really cool, and I believe they can fit like more than 100 students in every escape room. So,
Wow.
There's plenty of space for anyone who's interested to come out and try that experience.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So with this involvement fair, do you know how long this involvement fair is? Is it the entire day? Is it just a couple hours? Or
Yeah, so the involvement fair will happen over the lunch hour tomorrow. So from noon to 1:30, we'll have, again, over 50 tables set up between the Thad Cochran Center right outside the Fresh and into the Union Lobby right by Seymour's.
Okay. That's really cool. And is there like any type of food that's available or snacks that are available, or is that kind of like on a table-to-table basis?
Yeah, it kind of depends on what our tables are willing to offer. We won't have anything like specific through LSI. Again, we're giving out our socks. But lots of the clubs do give out some cool goodies.
Okay, cool. And were there any type of like interesting things that happened at the last spring involvement fair?
Oh, I'm trying to think. Well, we did a big involvement fair in the fall that we had a ton of organizations at. And actually, one of the fun things, sometimes the involvement fair tends to like turn into a little dance party. So some of our groups bring music.
Yeah.
And it just is a really fun atmosphere to like hang out, meet some people, like chill with your friends over the lunch hour. It gives you something fun to do.
Okay, so overall, it's just a great opportunity to, one, get to know people and be able to network and have all these chances to join clubs and to be able to get free swag like the fuzzy socks that we talked about earlier, and be able to be around your students and be around your peers to be able to really take in this campus life that a lot of it goes unnoticed.
Yeah, for sure. We have so many student organizations here on campus, and I think a lot of them fly a little bit under the radar.
Yeah.
But they're doing really cool things here on campus. So we love a chance to celebrate them and a chance to really spotlight them here on campus.
And just to cover it one more time for the students that potentially missed it earlier, but how many student groups are on campus?
Oh, man, we have over 200 registered student groups right now here on campus.
Over 200. So for all the listeners out there, that if you didn't even know that we had extracurricular stuff like this, we have over 200 things, so I'm sure you're going to find something that's right up your alley, and you should absolutely go and attend this. So thank you so much for coming on, for providing a voice for our Eagles, and for talking about the Student Organization Involvement Fair, because I know that I'm personally excited. I think it's going to be something that our students will not want to miss. So thank you so much, Molly Moss, for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Coming up, we've got Gabby Cox-Wilbur sharing some things about security. Check it out.
A petition was started to install security cameras in the back area of Wilbur Residence Hall. Many students claim to have had their bikes stolen, cars vandalized, and more. I wanted to take a deeper look and see why students were so quick to sign the petition.
Well, I signed it because I feel like it's kind of unsafe walking back, like when it's really dark outside. I feel a little bit unsafe walking with no protection or anything. Like, I've had like my own bike taken, and I have no idea how to get it back because I don't know how to like find it, and there was no cameras or anything, so there's no way for me to get that back at all.
The petition gained over 160 signatures in just 24 hours. The students who have signed this petition hope that adding cameras will foster a safer environment. The petition has comments from students sharing their experiences and why they want cameras in the back areas.
I continue to let my residents know that they need to exercise their rights and continue to advocate for themselves. That's important. In my position, I can only do so much. The students have all the power, and I think they should take more action into using that power to make the campus what they want the campus to be.
The petition is the first step of action. It is now up to the students to sign it and the university to decide. Students are using their voices for good and advocating for something to be done. Gabby Cox, SMTV.
Thanks for listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Huge thanks to Seb Hodges, our audio engineer, and Meadow Smith, our video engineer, for keeping this bird flying. Big shout out to our assistant producer, Sam Romeo, and our program director, Adeline Field, as well as our executive producer, Ore Ide, and our GM, Dr. Wilbur Martin. Don't forget to follow SM2 Media on social media. I'm your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker. Stay golden, Eagles.